Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a fall leaf design card thing that you could definitely use for any kind of autumn greeting card for the ones you love. So let's jump right in. Okay, so to start, I'm just gonna go through my materials. I have my Arches cold pressed watercolor paper, and I just taped down 2 strips of tape in the center where we're gonna write something in after. I just wanted to block it out with some cheap dollar store painter's tape, my Winsor & Newton professional watercolors in my palette, and my Princeton snap brush. I think I'm just gonna use the size 6 for now, and then we'll see if I use any other. Water, paper towel, we're ready to go. Okay, so this is a little design that you could really use for anything. Card, decor, any time of year, just change it up. But it's really simple and cute. And I think what we're gonna do is just some different greenery around. And then because I know Thanksgiving is coming up in the States, maybe we'll write thankful in the middle. We've already had Thanksgiving here in Canada, but just, I don't know. You could write anything in the middle, but let's just have fun and see where this takes us. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix all my greens that I have in here, see what we're working with. And I'm just going to start by painting different leaves. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some layers. So I'm going to be doing some wet on dry. So I won't be blending or letting any color bleeds of leaves happen together. I'm going to wait for certain areas to dry before I do more leaves on top. So let's start with this color green, whatever green you have. And we'll just start with some big leaves. Let's do some big leaves. Okay. We can even add more detail to them later if you want. And for leaves, all you're doing is light pressure, push down, heavy pressure, light pressure, come back up with a little kind of a curve. Easy peasy. And this is great if you need some leaf practice. Maybe we'll do some autumn leaves, actually. So let's spread this out. Really didn't plan anything out. I'm just kind of going with the flow here. So I think I might do more autumny colors. So let's grab some yellow and just like hit some yellow in there, like it's starting to turn. Okay, just little dots. You can even grab a little bit of brown and let the colors bleed that way. Cute. Let's do a couple more over here. So honestly, I don't really know what I mixed to get this green. I think I just had a bunch of different greens in my palette. So there's probably sap green in here, hooker's green dark, and I think there's even a little bit of blue. So whatever colors you want to mix together, do it. Just gonna tap a bit more brown in there. And maybe a bit of yellow on this one. Oops, a little bit too much water on my brush. Oh well. It's all good. Like that. Okay, so now we're gonna do some more leaves and just spread them out. So let's do some kind of orangey leaves. I went on a walk yesterday by myself, which was actually really nice. And I saw some gorgeous leaves, so maybe I'll try and recreate that. So I have some cadmium red orange and then some yellow ochre. I'm just gonna start with a light wash, and maybe I'll do like a cluster of 3. Again, kind of bigger leaves. 1, 2, 3. You can always do one thinner. You don't want them to be completely uniform with each other. You want to give them a little bit of movement by making some thinner, some longer. Okay, and then we're gonna grab some of this brownish red color I have here, which I think was a brown matter. I'm just gonna go around the edges. Maybe a bit more. You can just use brown, whatever color you have. Maybe I'll just do a little vein down the center while it's wet. Like that, do some more veins. And the reason why it's not expanding so much and bleeding out is because I don't have a lot of pigment on my brush or water. Okay, so that really helps to kind of control where that line goes. And I'm just gonna add a bit more color. Just tap some in there, maybe a little bit of yellow. And I think I want some more brown. Here, I have brown here. That. Okay, let's do some more of those. So placing them out, I try and make it not too symmetrical. So you don't want one here, one here, one here, one here. You kind of, I think of threes almost. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, maybe a little bit here. Just it kind of balances it out a bit more. And I'm really trying to take my time with this. I find I like to speed through a lot of my paintings, but I think I'm just gonna take my time and relax a bit. We even have a little peekaboo of one coming out this way. You don't have to see the full leaf. A little bit more orange and red. A little bit of yellow. And let's get that brown. And again, the key to having that controlled color is just not having a lot of pigment and water on your brush. There you go. And I'm actually quite enjoying these colors of leaves. That little hint of blue is really nice. I think I'm just gonna do one here. And then maybe we can do one behind this one. Okay, make sure that's dry if you're doing it behind. Like that. Okay, let's get some, maybe some more yellowy leaves. You can do some yellow ochre and a little bit of cadmium yellow. And I'm just gonna go behind this one. I was gonna overlap and do some, what's it called? Layering, but I think I'm not gonna layer. I think I'm just gonna try and go behind some of these. I love fall leaves oh so much. You have no idea how passionate I am about them. It's ridiculous. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of green to those leaves because those leaves usually start out green and then turn yellow. So I want it like they have all just started turning yellow. So little bits of green in them. Like that. Okay, let's get another one going. Maybe down this way. bit lighter. So yeah, if you're doing a leaf next to another one, just make sure it's dry. So this green leaf is dry, otherwise it would bleed into each other. And that's not the look I'm going for today. I do sometimes, but not today. So just try your best to go around. Imagine where it would hit on the other side. Okay. Green. Just a little bit of green. Like that. And then again, we're working in threes over here. There we go. Let's get some darker green happening. So I'm gonna grab some of my Hooker's Green Dark, some of my Dioxazine Purple to make a nice dark green. Okay. And I'm gonna go, yeah, we'll do it like this. We'll just do some kind of long leaves like that. What tree is it from? No idea. Just kind of winging it here. Again, going around the best I can. And then I think I'm gonna grab a bit more purple. Just hit some darker bits in there. Like that. You can even grab some brown too. Okay. Again. And just try and move those leaves in different directions. Again, you don't want it so uniform. You want to give those leaves a bit of movement. Okay. And then maybe one coming up. Is that still wet? I'll try and be careful behind here. Oops. Oops. That's fine. It's bleeding into the yellow because I was impatient, but that's fine. Just mop it up a bit. We're good. Okay, let's do some reddish leaves. I have this like burgundy color here, which is nice. I'm gonna start off with like a brighter red. So like some cadmium red. And then we're gonna do some, I see these leaves everywhere too in my neighborhood. On these like little plants or like bushes almost. They're like super bright red. They're very cool. And then grab that dark red. So to make this like burgundy color, you can add brown to it, or you could add a little bit of green and it will make it kind of that burgundy color. Just play with the levels of how much of each paint you have or are going to use. I'll do some lines just to give it a little bit of texture. Like that. that. And then, I feel like we could use some more like bright green too. Let's go. We'll do this. This one can be a bit more uniform looking. Rounder edged petals. It is hard to work behind another leaf without layering. But it doesn't have to be perfect. Just keep going. That, maybe one back here. Like that. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna get some like purple flowers. I mean not flowers. Oh my goodness, leaves. Like, what are we doing again? So I'm just grabbing some dioxazine purple and I mix it with that burgundy color. I'm gonna grab a bit of Hooker's green to get this dull purpley shade. And I'm gonna go back here and I'm just gonna do smaller ones, I think. Yeah. Little stems. Because you want to change up the colors, but also the shapes of your leaves. So I'm just doing little stems and then two little kind of leaves. And this you can overlap on some of the darker or some of the lighter leaf things, you know. Oh my God. My mouth doesn't work today, or my brain. It's fine. And I think that's good. Okay. Just looking at it. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take my smaller size 2 brush and I'm gonna add just like a little bit of veins to some of these leaves, just for a little bit. Oops, I'm gonna grab a little bit of brown for that. A little bit of detail, because this isn't as loose of a piece as I usually do. This is a bit more detailed, so I'm going to add a bit more detail. I wonder if I should do a little bit of shadow on them. Just some really loose, darker parts. I'll do another vein on top of that when it's dry. Just a little bit of shadow. And then these darker ones, what I think I'm gonna do is make that color again. So Hooker's green dark and a bit of dioxazine purple. And I'm just gonna go over one side of the leaf. Just darken up one side, doesn't really matter which side. I think that's it. I feel like I could add some sort of orange leaf up here. Use a little bit more orange up here. And then maybe a little bit of brown. Maybe back there too. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna take the tape off and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm just looking at it and I'm just thinking if there's anything else I want to add. I think I'm going to add some like little like wheat stalks to some parts. I'm just going to do a really light line and then some light lines coming off of that with some burnt umber. Okay, just to make it look a bit more fallish. And I'm using my size 2 brush for that. And then you could always, some of these leaves, like maybe this one, you could always finish it like it's coming up in front of the little blocked off area, just some of them. So try and find that same color and just finish it like that. Let's do maybe another part of this one. But maybe a bit more of this sap green. Just a couple coming up in front. And it doesn't have to connect to some that are around. Maybe these ones are just folded over. That. And there you go. Okay, so now let's just make sure it's completely dry and then we can do some writing. Okay, so now that it's dry, let's do some writing. I'm gonna write thankful. And for the style of this, I'm gonna have it spread out a bit more, and I always work in pencil first, then do ink over. So I'm just gonna start with a T, obviously, and then drag it out so the letters are kind of far apart. Do my little loop for an H, small. Drag it out to the next letter, small little a, drag it out, make the kind of connecting part a little bit bigger. This is just a style choice. Thank. Thankful. Like that. Let's see if it's kind of centered, and it actually is for the first time, which doesn't always happen. Now I'm going to take a black pen and I'm just going to go over it, and I'm going to erase that pencil, and we're actually going to turn this into faux calligraphy. So I would typically do this with a brush pen, but on Arches paper, it tends to fray your brush pens because it's so textured. So I want to save my brush pen, and we're going to do faux calligraphy. So if you don't know what that is kind of when you're giving your lettering a calligraphy style without actually using a calligraphy tool like a brush pen. So essentially you just want to put thicker lines on all the downstrokes. So we did a downstroke for this T. So you're gonna make this line a little bit thicker, and we'll color that in. You went up here, so that would be a thin upstroke. Went around, still going up, but when we went down on the H, that would be a downstroke. Gonna make that line thick. Up, down, thick, up, went around, and that would be thick. So every downstroke, you're gonna make it a little bit thicker, and then you're gonna color it in. So for my downstrokes, I just ended up filling it in with a thicker Sharpie marker to get a nice bold downstroke line. And there you go. So I just ended up using a thicker Sharpie because my thinner one was running out of ink, just for the downstrokes. But yeah, that's basically it. Thank you all so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it, and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for even more. Have a great day, guys. Bye.